Hello friends, so welcome back to my channel Doc Cholo's vlog for Kali exercise. This channel promotes healthy living by physical activity. Here we utilize the methods of Kali, which is a Filipino martial arts, to be a suitable type of exercise, especially for seniors and for those with restrictions due to some cardiovascular problems. Okay, so here we are so careful, and um, we want you to understand what the limits are in terms of your capacity, the capacity of your cardiovascular system. And so we always recommend that you have to know how to take your maximum heart rate, and we have talked about that. It's 200, 200, which is a constant, minus your age, and the product of that would be the maximum heart rate that you should tolerate. More than that, 10% more than that should be um, associated with some rest and recovery. Okay, so we are now in lesson 12. If you recall, lesson 11 was about sinawali, which is weaving. The pattern of weaving being used as the pattern of the moves in Kali. And there are two types, okay, depending on the direction of your moves. And so we already did lesson 11 using the forward move, okay, the normal move of sinawali, which is made up of six moves, okay, six moves. Uh, Right and then left, three to the right and three to the left. Okay, this time we are going to take up the reverse sinawali for lesson 12. So I'd like to show you what I did.
It was like this. And then we did the crossover. Okay? Crossover. Crossover. And then we added one more move. This is the move, okay? This move. Okay, this move. And it became sinwali, or sometimes they call it redonda. Okay? This time we are doing the figurang walo, or the inverted eight. Then we do a crossover, okay? We do a crossover, okay? A crossover. And then we add one more move to make it a sinawali. Okay, so here goes. This is figurang walo normal pattern. Okay, then we do a crossover. Okay, this is the crossover. Then we add a move.
Okay, let me do a slow motion for this so that you shall be able to follow how the moves are. Okay, let me uh, modify this speed, and let me try to mute this up, and so let me explain. So here, okay, this is the reverse, and so you see that the return of the left arm, okay, return of the right arm this time, and that's the additional return of the left arm again, and here's the return of the right arm again. And I hope you can recognize how, okay, it goes back. See, that is how it goes back, and this is the right hand going back and the left hand going back. So those are the additional moves to make it a three move per side reverse sinawali. And I hope you got that. Okay, so let me bring it back to the normal speed, and so you would see the rest of the video.
To make a difference with the figurang walo. Okay, this is how we do it. Okay, with the crossover, it's a crossover. Okay, and this is how we do it. Okay,
Okay, so that's how it is, friends, ladies and gentlemen, the pattern of the reverse sinawali. Okay, so let's take some trivia. I think the trivia now should be important. Let's take, let me show you some things. Okay, uh, these pictures actually are images of how we utilize uh, arm and wrist locks. Okay, and it's very common. If you go to YouTube, there are a lot of things, and I'm scared for the partners of those who are doing the locks. I'm scared because you see, it seems like maybe nobody's ever has ever uh, discussed about the importance of the wrist and the shoulder. Anyway, let me show you why we need to understand that we have to be careful about doing these locks. We are not in a real fight. Maybe in real fight we may do that. So I'd like to show you the hazards of this. Okay, see, these are locks, you see, and I don't know if you can see the lock. This is overextending. You see how it is, unless of course you are a person with some some unique abnormalities. There are people with very soft connective tissues, bones and tendons. Okay, but that's not normal. But normally we have strong tendons and bones, and average person has it. So it's not really very good to hyperextend or hyperflex. This is flexion. You see, this is reverse flexion of the wrist. And so, I don't know. But, well, let me explain, okay? I wish that we could, I wish that I could give you some information, which probably the information is not really readily available with do-it-yourself learning tutorials when you see the YouTube. Okay, but I think it's important for us, martial arts enthusiasts, that we have to know to be able to uh, protect and preserve our partners when we do the practices. Okay, let me show you how it looks like, how the wrist looks like. Okay, okay, this is the anatomy of the wrist, and I have mentioned to you that the wrist is complex. It's very complicated. Take a look at the bones. There are 8 bones that make up the wrist. 8 bones that are held by tendons, of course, tendons and ligaments that hold the wrist together. And these are not fixed, they are floating, and that's the reason why the wrist can easily be moved in all directions. Okay, because it's the interplay of all the positions of all these 8 bones. Okay, and you know that these bones play a very important role in a very common problem which doesn't show immediately when you do it. Okay, it may come later, and I'll show you an example of this condition they call the carpal tunnel. Okay, so this is the carpal tunnel. You see that these bones are the ones lining, or they are the base of the carpal tunnel. This is the carpal tunnel, and there are several tendons there which are easily injured, by the way. The tendons here are easily injured by overextension, overflexion, and they could cause inflammation. They call it tendinitis or tendonitis. And when this becomes inflamed, okay, Swelling takes place in the carpal tunnel, and the swelling may compress this nerve. You see, that's the median nerve. The bones may also be disaligned, meaning to say that they may be moved a little bit towards above, or especially these bones lining it, and there are other bones above it, okay, and they may be disaligned and may compress as well, may compress the area of the carpal tunnel. And take note that this is the structure of the wrist, which of course you see that's the area there. And if you noted how the locks are being made, now this is just practice, and it's unfortunate if by practice you probably don't, you probably don't experience it immediately, but later, it continues in practice, you will probably produce some changes in the carpal tunnel. Okay, if inflammation in the carpal tunnel, in the tendons here, would be recurrent from time to time, every time you practice, then what happens is that it undergoes a scarring, okay, scars. They call it fibrosis. And when the fibrosis takes place, it's permanent. And it compresses the median nerve. The nerve is the one innervating the sensation, the movement of the fingers, of the palm, of the hands. And so you would be having some neurological problems later on. Okay. And I'm not saying that, don't do it. Just be careful. Okay. Be careful and be wary of the condition of your partner. Okay. And I hope that makes a good advice. No, if you don't, if you don't need the advice, and of course nobody else or somebody may not believe in our advice, it's okay. But for me, out of in good faith, we are of the same family. We are Kali enthusiasts. I'm not an Arnis. I'm not. No, I do Kali and not Arnis, and I've explained that Kali and Arnis are two different things. But anyway, be careful of how the stick injured the wrist as well, okay? The stick is solid and you might be compressing a lot there, and it may also alter the alignment and of course produce some inflammation inside the carpal tunnel. Okay, so that's the trivia for today, and I hope you learn from it. Okay, and yeah, we are doing what's this Kali exercises, and this is intended for us. This is in this video cast, and this trivia are intended actually to help out. Okay, to help out in understanding the risk that we may be able to avoid some injuries later on. So much for that, folks. I hope you enjoyed this day's vlog, and I hope the information that I gave you this time would be made useful sometime. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Please, those who haven't subscribed and shared, please do so. It encourages us to do more video blogs regarding physical fitness, health, and of course the Filipino art of Kali. Okay, so much for that, folks. Thank you. Bye bye.